You won't believe what Roman Reigns just said about Seth Rollins getting absolutely destroyed. While the tribal chief sits at home, his former Shield brother was left in a pool of blood by two absolute monsters, and Roman's response? It's going to make you furious. Stick around because what he said will shock you to your core, and you need to hear this before WWE tries to bury this story. Let me ask you something right now. Would you help someone who stabbed you in the back? Someone who betrayed you when you needed them most? Because that's exactly the position Roman Reigns finds himself in, and his reaction is splitting the WWE Universe right down the middle. But before we dive into Roman's explosive response, let me paint you a picture of the absolute carnage that went down on Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins, the visionary, the revolutionary, the man who has carried Raw on his back for years, walked into what he thought was just another night at the office. But Bron and Bronson Reed had other plans. These two behemoths didn't just attack Seth, they tried to end his career. We're talking about a brutal, vicious, sickening assault that left Seth writhing in pain while medical staff rushed to the ring. Picture this: Bron Breakker, the second-generation superstar with a family legacy to uphold, combining forces with Bronson Reed, a 300-plus-pound wrecking ball who moves like he's half that size. The combination was lethal. They hit Seth with everything in their arsenal: spears, sentons, powerbombs through announce tables. The Raw announce team was screaming. The crowd was in absolute shock. And Seth was completely helpless. Here's a trivia question for you. How many times have Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns teamed together as members of the Shield? Drop your answer in the comments below. Now, you'd think that seeing his former brother-in-arms get decimated would spark something in Roman Reigns, right? These two men went to war together. They dominated WWE together. They held every piece of gold there was to hold. The Shield wasn't just a faction, it was a movement. They revolutionized tag team wrestling and became the most dominant force WWE had ever seen. But here's where it gets interesting, and trust me, you're going to want to hear every single word of this. Roman Reigns' response came through a cryptic social media post that has the entire wrestling world in an absolute frenzy. He didn't call out Bron Breakker. He didn't threaten Bronson Reed. Instead, Roman posted a simple message that said, and I quote, "You reap what you sow. The tribal chief remembers everything." What? Are you kidding me right now? Seth Rollins is in a hospital bed, possibly with broken ribs, a concussion, and who knows what other injuries, and Roman is out here talking about karma. This is the same man who claimed the Shield was his family, the same man who stood side by side with Seth through thick and thin. And now, when Seth needs support the most, Roman is basically saying, "I told you so." The WWE Universe is divided. Half of the fans are saying Roman is absolutely right. They are pointing out that Seth Rollins was the original Shield betrayer. Let's not forget, and this is crucial to understanding Roman's mindset, Seth Rollins took a steel chair and drove it into Roman's back. He shattered the Shield for his own personal gain. He chose Triple H and the authority over his brothers. He became WWE champion by stabbing his family in the back. But the other half of the fanbase is calling Roman Reigns a hypocrite. They are saying that Roman himself has done questionable things throughout his career. They are pointing out that Roman aligned himself with Paul Heyman, the same man who managed Brock Lesnar, one of Roman's biggest enemies. They are bringing up how Roman manipulated and controlled the bloodline, forcing his cousins to bend to his will or face excommunication from the family. We have a quick request for you. We are constantly working to improve our content to earn your love and support. That's why we would truly appreciate it if you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update here on Wrestling Zone Insider. Here's what makes this situation even more complicated. Sources close to WWE are reporting that Roman Reigns was actually approached about making a surprise return to help Seth Rollins deal with the Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed problem. According to these reports, WWE officials reached out to the tribal chief's camp to gauge interest in a potential Shield reunion moment, or at the very least, a confrontation between Roman and these two rising stars who are making their presence felt by taking out main event talent. And you know what Roman allegedly said? He declined. He flat out refused to get involved. Now, whether this is because of his current contract situation, personal reasons, or legitimate heat with Seth Rollins, we don't know for sure. But the fact remains, Roman had the opportunity to step up and he chose not to. That speaks volumes about where his head is at right now. Let's talk about Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed for a second because their motivations in all of this are fascinating. These two absolute powerhouses have been on a collision course with the top of the card for months now. Bron Breakker, following in the footsteps of his father Rick Steiner and uncle Scott Steiner, has been destroying everyone in his path. The man is a legitimate athlete, former football player, incredible agility for his size, and an intensity that's scary. Here's another trivia question. What was Bron Breakker's ring name before he joined the main roster? Comment your answer below and let's see who the real wrestling historians are. Bronson Reed, on the other hand, is a completely different kind of monster. This man from Australia has been overlooked and underutilized for years. He's been waiting for his moment, and now he's taking it by force. When you combine his size, his surprising athleticism, and his willingness to put his body on the line, you've got a recipe for absolute destruction. The question everyone is asking is, why did they target Seth Rollins specifically? Was it just opportunity? Were they making a statement? Or is there something bigger going on behind the scenes? Some reports suggest that Bron and Bronson are trying to prove that the old guard needs to move aside. They are tired of hearing about the Shield, tired of hearing about Roman Reigns, tired of hearing about Seth Rollins. They want to carve out their own legacy, and they are willing to end careers to do it. But let's get back to Roman Reigns, because his silence is deafening. In the days following the attack, Roman has been virtually invisible on social media except for that one cryptic post. He's not giving interviews, he's not appearing on WWE programming, and he's certainly not rushing to Seth's defense. This is creating a massive storyline opportunity that WWE would be absolutely foolish not to capitalize on. Think about the possibilities here. If WWE plays this right, we could be looking at one of the most compelling storylines in years. You've got Seth Rollins, the man who betrayed the Shield, now potentially needing Roman Reigns, the man he betrayed, to help him survive against two monsters who are trying to take over the company. The drama writes itself. And what about Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley? Where does he factor into all of this? The third member of the Shield is currently tearing it up in AEW, but you know there are conversations happening behind closed doors. If there was ever a time for a true Shield reunion, this would be it. Can you imagine the pop if all three members of the Shield reunited to face down Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, and whoever else wants to step up? Here's what makes Roman's response so infuriating to so many people. It's the principle of it all. Yes, Seth betrayed the Shield. Yes, Seth made mistakes. But that was years ago. At what point do you let go of the past and recognize that your brother needs help? At what point does family, and make no mistake, the Shield was family, supersede petty grudges and old wounds? Roman Reigns has built his entire tribal chief character on the concept of family. He's talked endlessly about the importance of bloodline, of loyalty, of respecting the family hierarchy. But when push comes to shove, when one of his former brothers is getting absolutely demolished, where is that family mentality? Where is that loyalty? It makes Roman look like a hypocrite of the highest order. Final trivia question: in what year did Seth Rollins betray the Shield with that infamous chair shot? Let me know in the comments. The wrestling world is waiting with bated breath to see what happens next. Will Roman Reigns continue to stay silent? Will he finally address the situation head-on? Will he show up on Raw or SmackDown to confront Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed? Or will he let Seth Rollins suffer the consequences of his past actions while these two monsters continue their path of destruction? What makes this even more intense is that Seth Rollins has never been one to back down from a fight. Even injured, even battered and bruised, you know he's going to come back swinging. But can he do it alone? Does he even want Roman's help after that cryptic social media post? The pride factor here is huge. Seth might be thinking, you know what? I don't need the tribal chief. I've been carrying this company without him, and I'll continue to do so. We have a quick request for you. We are constantly working to improve our content to earn your love and support. That's why we would truly appreciate it if you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update here on Wrestling Zone Insider. So here's what I want to know from you, the Wrestling Zone Insider community: is Roman Reigns right to hold onto his grudge against Seth Rollins? Or is he being petty and should step up to help his former brother? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and while you're down there, answer those trivia questions and let's get a discussion going. This is the kind of storyline that defines eras in wrestling, and we're watching it unfold in real time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon because the fallout from this situation is going to be massive, and you don't want to miss a single second of coverage here on Wrestling Zone Insider.